Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining in here on our Patreon page. All right, today we're going to talk about the function generator, and this is an FG100DDS function generator. All right, so this was sent in by 3 Mate Amps, and he knew what it was going to be used for, but he wasn't sure as far as all the aspects and what to do. So he sent it in, and essentially we're going to do kind of a partial review and a walkthrough on how to actually get through the menu on this and how to use it. So, excuse me. So, checked it out. It does seem to work pretty decent. It's got it's got its pros and cons. I mean, the major advantage that this thing has is the fact that it's a handheld. That's probably its major advantage. The disadvantage that I see with this, although it does have a variable right here to adjust the output, um, it doesn't give you an idea of what the percentage is based on where you turn this. So you got to kind of guess. I mean, you can guess that it's wide open when it's turned all the way up, um, but to turn it all the way down and then turn it even at 50% doesn't mean that you're going to produce a 50% worth of modulated signal out of this. So part of it is, excuse me, you are going to have to kind of guess that part of it. But let's kind of get started here. I'll go ahead and turn it on. And I've got this plugged into my little power supply. All right, so when we first turn it on, it comes up and it'll tell you what wave you're looking for. In this case, we're on sine wave, and it gives you the basic frequency. All right, so let's see, it's 100,000, so 100,000 kilohertz. I don't know if it'll go up any higher than that or not. Yeah, it will. Okay, so I guess this will go all the way up to 900, probably 999,000 kilohertz. So just short of 1 meg is basically what it amounts to. So now we're not going to be using it that high, obviously, because the human ear couldn't hear the tone at that point. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to count from here, which is going to be 1 hertz, 10 hertz, 100 hertz, 1000 hertz, 10,000, and 100,000. So we're just going to move our cursor, which our cursor is currently lit up. So it will let us go ahead and move that. So in order to change that value here as far as on the frequency, we're going to go back to the 4th digit. We're going to hit our positive because we want to go up to 1,000 kilohertz tone, which is pretty common as far as with what's used. So now that we've selected 1,000 kilohertz, we're already set at sine wave, but if we wanted to change that while the cursor light here is still lit up, we're going to hit mode. That's going to change it to the square, triangle, sawtooth, and re-sawtooth, which I'm assuming that is a reverse sawtooth, and then back to sine. So sine is what we primarily use for 95% of all testing when we're talking about radio equipment, especially on a modulated signal. So we're going to start there, and I went ahead and grabbed one of my cords here. So we'll plug in our BNC cable to this. These cable connectors that I've got are pretty tight. All right, so we're hooked up there. Now what I also did, because I know what he's wanting to use this for, I sat down and built, and it's something that I use a similar version on my own workbench. So, and it's very, very simple. It does take a 9-volt battery. primarily because of the fact that I already had this cabinet and had part of the work already done because I was going to use this for a different type of project. So I've just kind of got the screws partially in there just to kind of hold everything together. So let's get that off of there. All right, so we're just using a standard um, on let's see, an on switch. So one way it's on, the other way it's on. Since we're only going to be using 2 pins, we just made it a single on or off. So that actually actuates our relay back here. So we've got our buffer in here on the input for the modulation. That's what's actually going to be coming in here on the BNC connector that we've got installed. So we're going to use the 9-volt to actually switch the relay on and off in order to go ahead and go over here to our other tester. So like I said, very, very simple circuit, not much to it. I did go ahead and install an LED into the box. That way, when it is in transmit mode, the light will come on and it will allow us to go ahead and know that, hey, we need to make sure we shut this off, otherwise we're going to run our battery down. So I used a 5-volt relay in this project and then just put a small resistor in line with the battery. So when I ship this back, I'm actually going to keep my battery because that's the last 9-volt that I've got. But we're going to just get these screws all started here so that it doesn't come apart while we're doing what we need to do. All right, so like I said, very, very simple. And like I said, I use the same essential setup here for switching. And then what I do is I use my adapters to go, for example, this is pre-wired for a 4-pin Cobra. And I'll use my 4-pin to 5-pin adapter for like a Cobra 2000 or a 148, for example. Or I'll use the other one, which is used for the RCI 2950. I need to actually either buy another one of these and wire or rewire one if I can get a hold of another 6-pin for the President radios. I don't know if this one will actually work on there or not. I haven't actually tried that yet to see whether or not they're using the same format. So, but anyways, so just so we can actually hear the tone, we're going to plug this in and it automatically gives our radio receive. So that's what it's indicated here by a green light. Then when we flip the switch, it'll go automatically into transmit and also have the audio going into the radio. So it's actually going to be injected into the radio as far as from our sine wave. So like I said, I've got a small LED indicator here. I use kind of one of my oddball colored ones just for something different. All right, so let's hook this up and then we'll get back to this. Now, in its current configuration, the function generator will not inject a signal into the unit itself. So we've got it on right now, we've got the volume up, and we have no sound. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this off and we're going to get over here to where we can actually get into the run portion of this. So once we've got this set, you're going to hit run, and once it quits blinking over here, it should be good to go. Turn the volume up. I need to take that apart and spray out my connector here, but I'm going to lay the microphone down over there so that you guys can hear that. So I'm varying that just with the pot over here, which adjusts how much modulation essentially is going down into that. So now, if we wanted to change and use a different tone setting. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to turn that off for the moment. and I'm actually going to change the frequency level here. So once we turn that off, it goes back to blinking. So we're going to hit the cursor and we're going to move that down. And we're going to zero that out. We're going to go over to the next one. That way we're in the hundreds. Oops. We're going to hit the positive. And once you hit 9, it doesn't roll over. You actually have to manually back this up. So let's start at about 600 hertz. That's kind of where a lot of men's voices range, is between 6 and 8. So we're going to go with the low end of 600. We're going to hit run. You hear that that's already at a different tone. So we can't change or remove this on the fly. So we actually have to put it back in stop. And each time you have to manually go over and change that to a different frequency level. So let's go up to 800 and hit run. And then this does have a DC offset. So there it's in the off position. You want to see that that's going to bring your level up a little bit more. And I can't say that, the positive and negative actually, at least by ear, makes much difference. So I'd recommend just leaving that at 0. I'm going to turn that volume down here on that. All right. So again, we're going to go back to stop. Let's go up to 1800 since we're right there. So yes, it's just like a hearing test where you're hearing a different tone yet again. And then using the simple switch box, like I said, we're able to toggle it on and off. So the radio goes from transmit back to receive, back to transmit with the modulation. So, all right. So that's really all there is to that. Like I said, is just being able to toggle that back and forth in order to go ahead and go from your receive to your transmit. Then it adds the audio. If you wanted it without the audio, simply unhook the jack and you do away with the audio, and then you've just got your carrier. So, or adjust your volume right here down. But anyways, so cute little device. Let's do one more thing here. Go back and turn that off so that we can change our mode. Let's go to a square wave. Let's see what that sounds like here real quick. Turn the speaker down here a little bit. Triangle. Not much of a difference there. Sawtooth. You'll see more on an oscilloscope than what you will here as far as on the tone. Yeah, so that should sound exactly the same, only it's in a reverse. And we're back to our sine wave. It's a little bit sharper, piercing sound. It does have a built-in filter. Filter appears to be working. All right. So now when you turn that off, one of the things that I noticed, at least when you unplug it, it'll automatically revert back to the factory settings. And even when you turn it on and off with the switch, it does the same thing. It reverts back. So each time that you use this, you have to go back and manually punch in your numbers. You can't just leave it preset and go from there. But very handy device. Like I said, nice and simple. Um, the only thing is you can't just preset everything where you want it and leave it. You have to go back each time and change and put the frequency in. Uh, the one good thing is that it does hold, or it does automatically revert back to the sine wave, so that's at least a plus there. All right, so hopefully, you guys found this interesting, and I know 3Made's going to like this just because, like I said, you can toggle it from receive to transmit and allow you to inject your audio um, directly through your cable here, just like you're keying your microphone and speaking into it. So, all right, guys. Hopefully, you guys found this interesting, and somebody else will find this useful. All right, guys. Take care. We'll catch you on the next video. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. We'd love to have you here on our Patreon channel, and we'll be putting some more videos out here shortly on Patreon as well as on our YouTube. Thanks for watching, guys.